Good evening. Welcome to the State of Business on our television with me, Kavish Kaperera. Let's take a look at today's headlines. Responsibility of building reconciliation and understanding are on religious leaders, says President. Prime Minister issues instructions to pay compensation for public and private property damage in Negombo. News in detail. President Maithripala Sirisena says that the security forces will expediently eradicate extremist terrorism from the island and that the responsibility of building reconciliation and understanding between all ethnic groups fall to religious leaders. The president made these remarks while taking part in a ceremony held at the Sri Vijayasundaramaya temple in Kurunegala. President Sirisena stressed further that he has complete faith in the capabilities of the armed forces of Sri Lanka and would not allow any foreign forces to be deployed in the country. He also stressed that it is important our intelligence services cooperate with the foreign intelligence services to work against terrorism organizations such as ISIS and that obtaining sufficient assistance from foreign intelligence services will be the responsibility of the government. Referring to the decision to commence school terms from today, President Sirisena added that there is a special security program being implemented for all the schools island-wide. He also said that security forces are empowered to provide security where needed and invited the public to support that program. The ambassadors and high commissioners of Azerbaijan, Argentina, Australia, Latvia, Lithuania, Laos and Bahrain presented their credentials to President Maithripala Sirisena at the President's house this morning. Accordingly, Ashraf Farhad Shikliyev from the Republic of Azerbaijan, Daniel Chuburu, the ambassador for the Republic of Argentina, David John Hawley, the High Commissioner for the Commonwealth of Australia, Artis Bertulis, the ambassador for the Republic of Latvia, Julius Pranavius, the ambassador for the Republic of Lithuania, Bonnem Chuangam, the ambassador to the Laos People Democratic Republic, and Abdul Rahman Mohammad Al Gaud, the ambassador to the Kingdom of Bahrain, presented their credentials to the Sri Lankan president. Of the 7 envoys to present their credentials, the only resident envoy is the Australian High Commissioner David John Hawley, and the others are concurrently accredited envoys that reside in New Delhi, India. The Prime Minister's office issuing a statement says that Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe has given instructions to pay compensation for the damages caused to public and private property as a result of a tense situation that prevailed in Negombo yesterday. Accordingly, the Office for Reparations under the Ministry of National Policies, Economic Affairs, Resettlement and Rehabilitation, Northern Province Development and Youth Affairs has taken immediate steps to assess the damages the Prime Minister's office has announced. Meanwhile, the tense situation that prevailed in Negombo yesterday has been completely brought under control and the police curfew imposed on those areas was also removed at 7 a.m. today. The 7th session of the UN-CTAD multi-year expert meeting on trade, services and development convened in Geneva from 1st to 2nd May 2019 under the chairmanship of Ambassador A.L.A. Aziz, Sri Lanka's permanent representative to the UN in Geneva. Interactive discussions covering several areas of importance for developing and least developed countries aimed to enhance productive capacity through services took place during the meeting. Being the first UN meeting to take place under Sri Lanka's presidency following the Easter Sunday terrorist attacks, the meeting provided a platform for UN officials, experts and delegates to express their strong condemnation of the attacks and to assure sympathy and support for Sri Lanka. Addressing the opening session of the meeting, UN-CTAD Deputy Secretary General Isabel Durant, followed by many delegations, expressed their solidarity with the people of Sri Lanka against the heinous acts which led to the loss of hundreds of innocent lives and injury to many. The Deputy Secretary General assured support for Sri Lanka within the competence of UN-CTAD to help national efforts in re-establishing the resilience of Sri Lanka's trade and economic sectors, including terrorism. During his opening remarks, Ambassador Aziz acknowledged the sentiments of solidarity that were expressed and reaffirmed the resolve of the government and people of Sri Lanka to take all necessary measures aimed at defeating terrorism and to emerge stronger as vibrant society and robust economy. The UK Minister for Security and Economic Crime Ben Wallace departed from Sri Lanka on Friday following a 2-day visit. Minister Wallace, who arrived on Thursday 2nd May, visited to reiterate the UK's condolences following the attack on Easter Sunday which killed at least 250 people, including at least 8 British nationals. As part of his visit, the Security Minister Wallace met President Sirisena, Prime Minister Wickremesinghe, other government ministers, military and religious leaders, senior government officials as well as leading figures from the Sri Lankan tourism sector. He discussed the impact on Sri Lanka, how to address the security threat, identify what further support the UK can provide, and received an update on the ongoing investigations. The Minister visited the Cinnamon Grand and Shangri-La hotel sites where British nationals were killed in the attack and met hotel staff, as well as visiting the St. Anthony's Church in Colombo. He also laid a wreath at all three sites in respect of all those who lost their lives following the tragic event of Easter Sunday. The Minister also met the UK police officers who had travelled to Sri Lanka and consular staff at the British High Commission in Colombo who supported and continue to support British nationals in the economy. The Metropolitan Police Counter-Terrorism Command dispatched a team of specialists to Sri Lanka, including family liaison officers, to support the families of British victims and assist with the repatriation of deceased British nationals. Keep tuning in for more news after this short commercial break. Welcome back. Speaking at a press briefing held today, Chairman of the Sri Lanka Tourism Development Authority and Sri Lanka Tourism Promotion Bureau, Kishore Gomez, vowed that Sri Lanka tourism industry will bounce back from the effects of the Easter Sunday attacks, which claimed 253 lives, including those of 42 tourists.
I must mention here that we are keen to get back. We will make this destination the most preferred destination yet again. And given the magnitude of the issue, we know that it's not an easy task, but we've done it in the past, not just once, few times. Other countries that have had to go through similar incidents have been able to bounce back, and collectively we shall bounce back.
Kishore Gomez also gave an update on the number of deceased tourists and the number that was injured and the status of the injured.
They told the total number is 253 and about 500 got injured, of which there were 42 foreigners who lost their lives, tourists who lost their lives, and about 37 got injured. And we being able to identify the bodies of 42 deceased, and we were in a situation where we had some missing tourists and then unidentified, but all those have been now ironed out, and those who were taken to private and government hospitals were treated efficiently and with the highest level of medical attention, and they all went back to their destinations last week. So we don't have a single tourist receiving treatment at any of the hospitals.
Kishore Gomez also said the following on the actions taken by the Sri Lanka Tourism Development Authority and the Sri Lanka Tourism Promotion Bureau on the day of the attacks.
We got together around 10 o'clock on that fatal Sunday. We immediately mobilized an emergency response team, deploying people to all the locations that needed our presence and our coordination and our commitment and our contribution. So that covered the hotels that were attacked. We covered all the hospitals, the missions, and all the other places. Airport was one place we had to deal with initially. And having done that, we came up with a quick plan in order to provide safety to the tourists who were still in the country, already enjoying their lives. And then we had to also deal with a situation where some of the tourists wanted visa extensions. So that too we mediated, and then we got the required approvals. And then we worked with the missions here and abroad. We kept on updating them on the current developments. We issued several press releases and various other communiques as the situation demanded.
The World Bank has granted $58.65 million for the agriculture modernization project, which has been currently implemented by the Ministry of Agriculture. The Agriculture Ministry has taken measures to modernize the country's agriculture sector with the intention of meeting growing market opportunities for both locally and internationally. Under this project, the ministry has taken measures to introduce modern technology, improve agriculture infrastructure facilities, and also to introduce local and international market opportunities for local farmers. The ministry has already selected 1,758 farmers from Polonnaruwa, Mathale, Batiklu, Monaragala, Jaffna, Mullathir, and Anuradhapura for this project. The ministry has also initiated various agriculture development projects with the intention of stopping the importation of vegetables, fruits, grams, and other food products that can be grown easily in the country, and as a result, under this project, various food production zones have been already established in the country. The Ministry of Plantation Industries has signed a MOU with China in a bid to rejuvenate the plantation sector in Sri Lanka. The MOU signed by Minister Navin Dissanayake and the Executive Governor of the People's Government of Hainan Province, Dr. Shen Dangyang, during the thematic forum on subnational cooperation aims at rejuvenating the Sri Lanka's ailing plantation sector that comprises of 3 crops including rubber, tea, coconut, cashew, sugarcane as well as related industrial value chains. During the stage 1 of the intervention, Sri Lanka rubber industry would be the main focus, taking the famous Rubber Rights Pact of 1952 as a point of departure. The vision of the leaders is the creation of a unique regional rubber corridor using Sri Lanka as the nexus between Hainan rubber industry, Sri Lanka rubber industry cluster, and global markets. The projects are to be designed based on the Sri Lanka Rubber Industry Development Master Plan, which is a 10-year growth plan aimed at earning $4 to $5 billion from the rubber industry. Beginning June 2019, China will field competent teams to conduct project feasibility studies across the industry value chains with the participation of Sri Lankan private sector and government resource persons. Stay tuned for stock updates after this short commercial break. Welcome back. Trading at the Colombo Stock Exchange ended on a negative note today. The all-share price index dropped 52.48 points to close at 5,386.27, and the S&P SL 20 dropped 30.75 points to close at 2,587.20. The turnover was 441.3 million rupees and 8.6 million shares were traded. Next up is Forex rates. Well, that's a wrap up the bulletin for the day. Signing off with the promise for tomorrow at the same time with nothing but the latest. Thank you and good night.